Good afternoon everybody and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Ollie and today we're going to be running through automated reports with some Prima tips. If you've got any questions, join her after the session. Mike's on live chat today, so feel free to ask away, join her after the session. Okay, so as you can see on screen now, we've got a little kind of key talking points image up there, so you can see a few of the kind of popular automated reports that we see kind of day to day our clients use, and just to give you an idea of what you can automate with this kind of automated option in Prima. So many benefits that are included, so things such as daily sales performance, monthly sales overview, daily back orders, all these kind of things just drop it into your inbox rather than going into Prima to fetch the information, and you can set up a timed execution as to when that happens as well. So rather than every month going into Prima, doing those clicks to fetch the data, that can just be output to multiple email addresses or just one to actually have kind of access to that information. Other things such as the daily sales dashboard, if you're a sales rep on the road or if you're an owner of a business and you want to keep on top of what's going on, having that information dropping into your inbox is really important to kind of keep on top of what's going on. A monthly sales overview, so it could be an accounts user, could be sales reps again, could be the MD, whatever it may be, whoever wants to see access to kind of monthly kind of performance. You can see that as well. So being able to include things such as, quantity, margins, costs, sell prices, all those kind of things you can include on there as well. Daily back orders. So we've got a webinar specifically on back orders itself, so you can actually watch that back if you want to as well and see how that's done. But what you can do is configure a customer back order report and also a supplier back order. So the customer back order report being useful for maybe sales reps or account managers that are looking after their accounts. I want to keep them up to date with where their order's up to. So if an item comes back, it's on back order, it's not going to be there for a week, how can we offer them an alternative, let them know, that sort of thing. And then of course on the flip side of that, supplier back orders, if you need to chase up with the supplier, see where it is it overdue, etc, etc. You've got all that information dropping into your inbox, you don't even need to go and get it, and it's all there kind of for you, included on phone numbers, contact address and all that sort of stuff as well. The fourth one, non-spending customers. So as it says on the tin, depending on, I guess, the criteria you set, it could be who's not spent this month, who's not spent in the past 3 months, whatever it may be. You can configure that, and that can be dropping into your inbox. So you can kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, configure it to a certain salesperson. So if it was Mike and he wants to see just his accounts rather than everyone's, you can chop and change that and customize the reports in Prima as well. And then the final one there, just the suggestions, are price changes on catalogue, mailer and products as well. So being able to kind of weekly have a view of what kind of prices are changing on those certain products. So with your Vow, Spices, Exerts, whoever it may be, catalogue, this product here is increased by 10p, this one's dropped by 5p, that sort of thing you can actually see from that. And what I've seen other users do as well is keep a kind of record of all the price changes in some sort of kind of, OneDrive or something, where you can access them. When your kind of rep comes in from your supplier, you can then say, right, okay, this item's gone up, or this one's gone down, great. Then you've got access to all that sort of information, and the beauty is it's automated as well. Okay, so they're just a few ideas of reports that you can use. Other reports, if you're a sales user, could be things like sales versus gaps, looking after certain accounts and providing them with usage information, so you can actually automate it to the end user if you wanted to. Or you can have it sent over to yourself, have a check over it first, and then send it across with some sort of kind of your signature on and everything else like that as well. Could be accounts users, keeping on top of orders that haven't yet been invoiced. There's many different things that you can use or kind of benefit from this automation from as well. Okay, so in terms of actually setting up the automated reports, if I just flick onto the live screen, what you can see now is where you would go to actually set up the automation. So in your login box here, you would select the administration login box and then hit sign in. As you can see, I'm already logged in there in the background. So once you're logged in, you would go into automation, into auto report setup, and then from here, as you can see, I've already got a few configured for me. So things like non-spending customers, back orders, price changes, everything I've just covered there pretty much is set up in here already. So what you would do to create a new one or update an existing one is either double click into it or hit this add automated report here at the bottom if it's your first one that you're creating. So when you do that, that'll then pop up with a box, which is just going over to the screen 1 second, and it looks like this. So as you can see, it's just loaded up the most recent automated report there. So what I would do, if I'm wanting to create a new one, I just click this new icon in the bottom left. Okay, and then from there then, you can select between the different kinds of reports. So is it one of the analysis reports, is it a management report, or is it a spreadsheet? And I'll just have a quick run through at the end of the session as well, exactly what kind of reports there are on offer and what these basically mean. But it's a case of, within your reporting suite of Prima, analysis report is one where you can drag and drop data. Spreadsheet, similar to Excel, columns and rows of data. It's just kind of being able to find the report easier. So if it was a spreadsheet report, then this is the list of all the reports that are spreadsheet as a kind of format. So from there, it could be, let's have a look. Maybe even stock valuation, could be sales dashboard. So let's go with sales dashboard for now. So I can choose that from the list. I can populate the to address. So who's that going to? So that's going to go to Jürgen, of course, at lfc.co.uk. And then in your subjects, it's going to be daily sales. It's going to be whatever it may be. So you can populate that info. So I'll just type in daily just for time saving. And then in your body, you can put whatever you want to. So if it's going to yourself, you don't really need to fill in that info. But of course, if you are setting it up for another user and you just want to let them know, dear Ollie, this is actually about your daily sales, blah, 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 you can put that info in. Okay. Once you're happy with this bit, what you would then need to do is hit save. And then from there, then as you can see on the right-hand side now, I've got the option to add a schedule. So you've got to save the report and the kind of configuration in first, and then actually decide on what the schedule is going to be. So when you click into there, it brings you into this box here now. And you've either got the option for weekly, so at the moment, between Monday and Friday, at 2 o'clock every week, starting from today, that's then going to save, or go on that kind of routine if I save that now. If I wanted it to be every other week, then hit 2. If I want it to be something like just a Monday, I can deselect those options there. What you can also do is, if you go into the monthly option, you can actually define on whether it's going to be an actual number. So on the first of every month, because it's kind of a monthly performance view, you can do that. Is it going to be the last day of the month? Is it going to be the 24th, because that's when you always do your commission or whatever it may be? You can select those dates. What you can also do is, that's the day, and then you can either do an on option where it's going to be the first week on the first day, or the last week on the last day, as an example. You can do those kind of configurations as well within there, as you can see. And then the months, of course, what you would probably want to do there, if it is a monthly report that's always ongoing, then you just need to select all the months you want it to run for. So you just select all the months. And then for this particular one, I'm going to have it on the first day of every month. So that's what I've got set up there. So at 2 o'clock every month on the first day, if I hit save now, that sales dashboard is going to go to Jürgen at lfc.co.uk. And then hit save, and that's then done. So in terms of the actual setup itself, pretty straightforward. Populate the information within here, once you've hit new, of course. Hit save, and then add your schedule or edit it if it's an existing one. So if I say, actually, this one now, because I've got this set up twice, I can remove that. Then, of course, you can go in there and say, right, okay, that one, remove that, and that's then gone from your configuration as well. Okay, so that's all there is to the actual kind of automated report setup. So you select your inbox you wanted it to go to. Another tip for that as well, actually, is if you want it to go to multiple inboxes, just use a semicolon as you would do in Outlook, and then separate that with the next email address. And of course, you can take advantage of the kind of CC and the BCC on there as well. Okay, so that's not everything for today's session. What we'll just run through quickly is the actual reports and some suggestions that you could benefit from as well. So when you come into the reports area of Prima, you've got the options to search on either standard reports, Prima's put in for you, custom, if you've actually customised one of these standard reports in Prima, and then all searching for both kinds of reports. So you can see the one that I've customised earlier and the one that Prima's put in for me as well. You've also got the format, so spreadsheet, as I mentioned, rows and columns of data, analysis being the reports that you can chop and change and kind of build your own reports, and we do have kind of webinars specifically on kind of in-depth versions of those, and the report option there, which is like a PDF copy report as well. So if I just search on standard in the reports and all format and run a search, then from here what you will see, you can sort it by the report name as well by clicking on the header. You'll then see all the different reports that are loaded in Prima. I'm looking at my connection, I'm just in Mike's little box here, so there you go, that's loaded up now. So from here now you can see things like back orders, company details, invoice lines. So depending on the actual user would depend on, of course, what you're wanting to see. So going back to, let's say, the accounts user might want to see invoice lines, might want to see the company details, because that's including the balance information such as 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And of course you can chop those reports down into exactly what you're wanting to see from that report as well. Other things, let's have a look, such as sales invoice / credit details, sales orders not invoiced, so all this kind of information that potentially you might be doing as a routine at the end of every week or end of every month, where you're going into sales order lookup and checking what's not been invoiced. What you can actually do, automate it, fire into your inbox, and then potentially send it round to the sales reps, wherever it may be, that needs to kind of follow that through and make sure the delivery is done or whatever it may be. So all this kind of information in Prima, set up on the automation, and that can be fired through. If you're a sales rep, then reports such as, let's say, customer reviews, invoice lines potentially, if you're wanting to see maybe just one account's kind of performance, you can configure that as well. Invoice sales analysis, so within that one report you can have that as maybe contract analysis, margin analysis, usage reports, all these different things, which again they are covered in a full webinar on analysis reporting. All these different reports you can set up and configure can then be automated as well. So as a sales rep, I want to see if my accounts are maybe dropping in spend, or all these different kind of things. Utilising the reporting suite in Prima, you can pretty much arrive at most reporting options there. Sales dashboard, daily sales performance, as it says in the tin, a dashboard of what's the sales performance for today, this week, top items, bottom items, performance, those kind of things as well. So that was just to give you an idea of what you can do with the automated reports. If you do have any questions during the session now, feel free to ask away. Or if you're watching this back, feel free to contact training at primasoftware.co.uk. I'll be happy to help with you kind of setting up these reports in your system as well. Okay, so that's everything. Thanks for your time, and have a great weekend.